Good evening, Lake Orion. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host. My name is Ian Witherspoon, and I am between Taorminas. Yes, Taorminas are back. And boys, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
It was nice.
What'd you guys eat? Turkey?
Turkey, we had roast beef.
Turkey, roast beef, corn, chicken, a lot of meat.
A lot of meat.
Yeah. Oh, good. Are you boys ready to talk sports again?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I really missed your faces.
You did?
I did. I sure did.
You did.
I missed a lot of things, but mainly those cute faces.
Yeah.
Listen, look at my beard. It's No Shave November. Well, technically it's not anymore, but we're going to keep going. Anyways, we got a lot to get to today. Some issues from earlier in the week. Oakland versus Tennessee. A little recap of that game. Urban Meyer to Ohio State. And looking forward to tomorrow's game, the Big Ten Championship. MSU versus Wisconsin. Okay? That's our first segment. Then, Sue, the penalty, the 2-game suspension, what it's going to mean for the Lions moving forward. We're going to close her out with a little Lake Orion volleyball recap and a question of the day from your friend. Sound good?
Not his friend.
Not your friend? We'll get to it. All right, we'll discuss it. Boys, Oakland beat Tennessee, second year in a row, this time at home. You were both there.
Yes, we were.
Let's hit down the atmosphere of the stadium at first. And tell us about that.
I thought the crowd was very, very intense for this game. Obviously, being a national televised game, they were going to come out in full force, and they proved that last night. I'm hopeful that they'll get to show up to more games with that atmosphere, and not just for the ESPNU game.
Right.
Overall, it was a very, very good atmosphere. The better team won, and then Oakland beat Tennessee 2 years in a row.
Good. Sam, what would you like to add about that game?
Oakland played a really good game last night. I mean, if you look at it, Oakland proved me wrong last night. Cause I said,
that was a few nights ago. But
I said Oral Roberts was going to win the Summit League this year.
Yeah.
I think
I'm glad you regret
the road. I think now you can say the road goes to Rochester.
Road.
And it always has.
Anyway, the game. Anyway, from last night, you got to give credit to Oakland for what they did. Reggie Hamilton at 35 points, Travis Bader went off early, then Drew Valentine did well early, then Laval Lucas Perry did well early. Cushenberry played well.
Contributed.
Everyone contributed. It's just, if you look at it, and even got Corey Petros, who's an underrated big, in the league that nobody.
Utica.
Okay.
Nobody's talked about. I think Oakland will be just fine. If they get that consistent production every night and not have to rely on one player, then they're going to be just fine.
The key to beating a big team, the key to beating a, quote, big-time school, a big school like a Tennessee is, everybody's got to produce. Last year, when we went down to Knoxville, we had certain players contribute.
Right.
And it just like what happened last night, we had players contribute, and that helped. You had to have everyone contribute in order to.
Are you seeing the void left from last year's team being filled more and more as we move on with the season here at OU?
I think that they're getting it done in different ways.
Different ways?
They're two different teams. Last year was you had a more complete team. I'm not saying that this team is not complete.
Right.
I think it's more guard-oriented.
Absolutely.
The bigs are obviously a little bit unproven, but they're getting there.
Younger, too.
Yeah, they're
not
younger,
Keith Benson
too.
yet.
No,
Right.
but they'll get there in time.
Right.
Well, this is far not a complete team, though, but still. But when you had Benson and Hudson last year, they're winning on different ways. If you look at it, Oakland last year had the shot blocking ability, and Greg Campy said in his press conference yesterday that this was a better defensive team than he had. But I debate that. But I still think that they still got a lot of work to do. You know, the real season again, you know, starts against South Dakota in the Summit League.
He always talks about the real season being the league season, and then also coming down to the 3 games in March, which is the Summit League tournament.
And heading into the league play, a win against Tennessee is nice for,
It's
if
big
nothing
for
else,
the
the confidence,
Big.
right?
It's big for the confidence.
Absolutely. Boys, let's move on to OSU and their hiring of Urban Meyer. Do you see this as a positive for the Big Ten overall or a negative? What do you think, guys?
It's a positive for the Big Ten because now it gives them another big name coach. You know, like if the Big Ten's already got enough star-studded coaches, you know, then this adds another one. You know, like if you look at it, you got Mark D'Antoni at Michigan State, Brady Hoke at Michigan, Bo Pelini at Nebraska, and then you got Shiro at Northwestern. You know, like I think it's just another. It's going to make the Big Ten that much tougher to get to.
I think Ohio State needed to get it done. You know, Ohio State needed to hire a big name. I thought Luke Fickell did a really good job as a coach at Ohio State, despite the record. You know, in the situation he was in.
Came in a bad situation.
You got to give him some credit there. And you know, Urban Meyer coming in will, you know, help that program out a big deal.
Urban Meyer's got 2 of these, and he won them in the SEC.
Yep.
So
the dangerous SEC.
that really legitimizes Ohio State once again. All right, so we'll put the championship game on the back burner for a bit. We're gonna go to commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna talk Sioux and the Lions. You're watching ON TV.
Yep.
Can ONTV really change the way you see Orion? Can a community hold a talent show to raise mental health awareness?
ONTV, a part of Orion's history since 1986. Video classes are now enrolling. Call 248-693-3377 to reserve your seat today. A service of Orion Neighborhood Television. This is you. And this is your community. You have a great idea. But how do you get that idea to your community? ONTV has your answer. You see, ONTV is a part of your community. We help you get your idea on cable, so everyone you know will learn about your great idea. So, what are you waiting for? Get your idea on cable and into your community. Get your idea on TV.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ON TV. Boys, we pushed aside the Big Ten championship game that takes place tomorrow. Let's hit that before we hit Sioux. I do not want you to give me a prediction of the score or the winner, because Lord knows when you predict scores and teams on this show, they're wrong, and you're hurting my teams. Namely the Lions and MSU. Anyways, what are some keys to the game? Maybe a Wisconsin victory and an MSU victory. What needs to happen?
For Michigan State, the key is running the football. If they run, they got Edwin Baker, Le'Veon Bell, Larry Caper. If they get their running game going, I didn't think they didn't do well at the running game the first meeting in East Lansing. But if they get that running game going, that opens up the play action pass for Kirk Cousins to find his weapons, and that will lead for Michigan State to win the Big Ten championship.
Different environment. It's on a neutral site. It's not in East Lansing. It's sure as heck not in Madison, Wisconsin.
And both teams really don't play well away from home.
Well, I would debate that. Michigan State won at Northwestern.
They kind of.
Wisconsin's got a couple of.
But the
big
Nebraska game,
well.
I think about this year, they still kind of have those demons in their back.
That's correct.
Still, Wisconsin does not play well.
Wisconsin, they got a very good running game. With Monty Ball, they got Russell Wilson at their quarterback spot. They got Nick Toon, their receiver. Their line averages 300 pounds.
Right.
I would say that Wisconsin has the better team on paper, though Michigan State did beat them the first time around.
2 years in a row.
Yes, 2 years in a row. Though Michigan State beat them earlier this year, you know, Wisconsin does have the better team. They have more firepower, but Michigan State can get it done.
You really can't say enough about that defense this year, and I'm talking about MSU's defense.
No. Let's look at Michigan State. They didn't have William Golston for that game.
Right.
And they have him back for this game.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be a hell of a game on Saturday night.
How about that's all you say about that game? It's going to be one
be
dandy
one-
of a game.
Yes.
And hopefully, knock on wood, we'll see green and white carrying roses around.
Hope
You know what
so.
I'm saying? All right, Sue, boneheaded move. Okay, I think we all can agree on that.
Yes. Bonehead.
As much as I love that he's a bad boy, that really didn't do anyone any favors on national television in a game that the Lions just haven't won in, 7 years?
8 years.
8 years now, thank you. Really not what they needed. 2-game suspension. Going up
It
against the
cost them.
Saints on Sunday, where they don't lose in that dome. And now that we don't have our best defensive player,
It cost them.
Right.
I mean, you know, thankfully it didn't cost them the whole season. It only is going to cost them 2 games, but it will play a big role because they're in the wild card race.
one could argue the Thanksgiving game, they stopped them on 3rd down. They were going to
Yeah.
go away with a field goal and up
Yeah.
10. Instead, they were able to score a touchdown, and Sue was gone for the rest of the game. So 2.5 games. I don't know. I thought it was dumb. Not what we needed.
Well, this is what you got to look at with the Lions. I mean, they're in a wild card race, as Anthony said.
Yeah.
This is probably the worst thing you could think of for the Lions right now.
Aside from Stafford going down.
Stafford going down. This is Lions. In my opinion, they're in trouble. They are in trouble.
I agree. What do you
I
think
think-
about moving forward?
I think this is a test of the Lions' character. I really think if the Lions can win one of these 2 games without Dominic and Sue, I think they're going to be fine. I think this is going to be a true test of their character, and we'll see going forward. It obviously does reinforce Detroit's bad boy image.
Yeah.
You know, with last week we had about Tim Tebow.
I'll tell you what. If they lose to Minnesota, you can kiss this one goodbye.
Yup.
Yes.
That's the game they have to
That's
win.
the
at
game
home.
they
They
have
have
to
to
win.
Yeah.
Is that game. New
Orleans
Orleans is going to
might be
be
tough.
New Orleans will be a really tough game. Got Drew Brees.
When you see what they did to the Giants,
Yep.
I'm not looking forward to that, even though I am a closet Saints fan.
I think it's going to be a shootout if you look
think
at
so?
it, because like Saints defense is not the greatest of defenses. But I look at this probably being a 49-35 game.
I'll tell you what, though, this second half of the season, Stafford has not
No.
been playing well.
I think he's been
He's
struggling.
hurt.
He can.
He is
You
hurt.
can talk about the thumb all you want. I know it's hard to throw with the thumb injury, but you know,
He's hurt. That's all it is.
Yeah.
there's still no excuse for being hurt. If he's hurt, put Sean Hill in there.
Yeah.
Put Drew
if
Stanton in there.
if he's too hurt. Boy, now we're getting a little risky here.
I wouldn't mind seeing either one of those play, especially Drew Stanton. He's a local boy. He's a Harrison guy.
I don't care where he's from. He can't. Well, anyways, all right. We got the Saints in Minnesota. They should go 1-1 there, right? Do we agree
I'm
to that?
hoping.
Then you look forward. San Diego at home, Oakland on the road, Green Bay on the road.
I think
still
the
Say
Lions-
they lose Sunday. They got to go 3-1.
Yup, just to make the playoffs.
Well, to go 10-6.
Yeah,
That's a
just
tough
to make
schedule.
that's a tough stretch right there. It's going to be really tough.
Even some teams who've gone 10-6 don't make playoffs.
Right. You look at the Giants. They might be done. Okay.
Yeah,
We hold a tiebreaker over Dallas, who could
Right,
win the
we
NFC
beat- yep,
East.
we beat them. Yep.
But then Atlanta, you gotta pretty much count them in.
Yeah.
They're in.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way they're playing football, they're in.
And they hold the tiebreaker on the Lions.
Exactly. So it's going to come down to
and then the Bears, we all the time.
the Bears are interesting. You look at Jay Cutler, who's playing really well, is gone,
Yeah.
but their schedule is
Chicago's schedule is easy.
They got Seattle on there, Minnesota,
Minnesota, yeah.
Denver.
Their last game of the year, and Jay Cutler might be back for that game, is Green Bay. He might be back for that game.
Our last game of the year is Green Bay.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. He might be back for that game. Who knows? Well, we'll see what happens.
So, I mean, the Lions pretty much, after Sunday, have to play mistake-free.
Pretty much.
And going to Lambeau is something they haven't
And the
done.
snow too. That's gonna be cold.
It's gonna be in Lambeau.
snow.
This is not a ground and pound team.
No, it's not.
So we'll see what happens moving forward. Boys, when we come back, we're going to talk a little Lake Orion volleyball, which, of course, you two will talk a little Lake Orion volleyball, and Mark Howie, Bob Howie, Jim Howie.
No, Bob.
Bobby Howie. Bobby Howie when we come back on ONTV.
Did you know that you can watch ONTV on the web? How cool is that? Just surf on over to www.orionontv.org to watch your favorite on-TV show. A service of Orion Neighborhood Television.
Orion Neighborhood Television has been your community connection for the last 20 years. From local concerts and sports to resident-made original programming, we are the voice of Lake Orion. Featuring a large professional studio, ONTV can provide you with the tools you need to make a quality program. Our staff is knowledgeable, friendly, and eager to help with your program success. Your voice, your community, on TV.
Can ONTV really be a part of Orion's history? Can a 100-year-old school be moved and preserved?
ONTV, a part of Orion's history since 1986.
All right, playing a little piano there, huh? A little Sugarland. That's great. Knock it off. Anyways, we're back on Between Taorminas here. Boys, you know, it's been really nice because I haven't seen you for a while. We haven't done our show. I'm sure the people out there missed you.
Oh, yeah.
But we're back and everything's good. We come to the third segment of the show. Volleyball, go ahead. Have a good time.
They had a good year. The girls had a really good year. It's just they didn't play well against Rockford, and but they had a great win against Clarkson. They took them out in 4 games.
There's no shame at all. I mean, Rockford had 2 Division I athletes that were on their team. You know, that one of them's going to Ohio State.
The other one's going to Michigan State.
Yep. They beat Marion, they beat Clarkston, the 2 teams they were supposed to get revenge on. They did that. I mean, really proud of Coach Howie and the girls this year.
You know, I thought Mr. Howie did a real good job instilling bump, set, spike, bump, set, spike.
You've been critical of Coach Howie. I want to know why.
Yeah.
On behalf of me and everyone here, I am not critical of Bob Howie at all.
Oh.
I don't know who Bob Howie is.
Oh.
I'd love to meet Bob Howie.
Anyway,
all right. Sorry,
if you look at it,
shut up.
if you look at it based on that perspective, if you look at next year's team, they're still going to be a good team. I think if you look at it from that perspective, I think Clarkson's going to be better. It's going to be Orion and Clarkson
next year.
Well, a lot of people are saying Orion and Clarkson are the next Birmingham, Marion, and Farmington Oaks Mercy, which could be possible. It could be possible.
That's going kind of far.
That's going kind of far.
Tell them why it's going far.
I mean, both of them teams are state powers. I wouldn't be going that far at all.
That's
Not
far.
yet. That's still
Sam?
far.
Sam?
I mean, I've seen both. Could be.
Are you ashamed?
No.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Any more to add about volleyball?
No.
No? Got it all out?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, listen, we have a question here, and this comes from, what's his name?
John in Fort Wayne.
John in Fort Wayne would like to know, will IPFW finish in the top 3 of the Summit League this year in men's basketball?
Before I go into recap about what IPFW is Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne. They are a team in the Summit League, and they often compete against Oakland, and they'll once in a while play Michigan State in basketball as well. Their longtime coach Dane Fife is currently an assistant coach, the associate coach at Michigan State right now as we speak. Anyways, will Fort Wayne go into the top 3? Last year, they were a bit of a surprise story. They had good guards, 2 good guards. They had a really good front court, and they ended up competing with with us, with Oakland for the top of the league at one point. They ultimately finished 4th, and in the tournament. Well, do I think they're going to be top 3?
There we go. There's the question.
I don't think they're.
Where do you think they're finishing?
I think that they will finish. I think they could finish top 3, but I think that they could. That right now they're 5. So
Yeah. No, you do not. And you say they'll finish 6.
No.
6.
No.
Tell us why they won't finish.
Here's why IPFW. I have IPFW finishing 7th, in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, like IPFW, of course. Let's look at the teams here. They've had problems against Oakland. They've had problems against South Dakota State. They've had problems against IUPUI.
Yep.
But they've had success against Oral Roberts. But
That's
if you
your
look
favorite
at
school. That's where you're transferring in the winter.
Be quiet.
Okay.
If you look at it from that perspective, IPF. I mean, like they got a new coach in there,
Tony Shostak.
and Tony Shostak. I think IPFW.
T-Shots.
I think IPFW may be in trouble this year.
They don't have the guard play this year. They're very
They are
inexperienced in
in
the
trouble
guards,
this year.
but their front court's still
IPFW
all
is in
right.
trouble this year.
Their front court's all right, but I think that they're still having to fix their guards. They got a really good guard in Frank Gaines, who will do some. Or no, he's a forward. He'll do some good things there for them. But do I think they're a top 3 team? No.
Absolutely not. I think if you look at it, if you look at the top teams in the league this year are Oral Roberts, Oakland, and of course you got South Dakota State and got IUPUI in there.
I disagree with you. It's going to be Oakland, Oral Roberts, South Dakota State, IUPUI, North Dakota State, then the Dons, IPFW.
Frank Gaines.
You think I'm going to be crazy here, but I think that Western Illinois could pass Fort Wayne.
You're crazy.
That's absurd.
I know it's absurd.
Well, Western Illinois could do it. They got a good defensive team, but
Hey, defense wins Summit League championships.
yes, you're
Okay.
right.
Okay.
right.
All right.
You're right.
And good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm right.
No, you're not.
All right. Any closing remarks on anything we've talked about today? Please don't let it be about IPFW.
I would just keep on encouraging people to go on our Facebook page or go on to www.oriontv.org. We're on at 5:30 on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30 on Comcast Channel 10 or AT&T UVerse 99.
Wow.
I think if you, my last statements, I know we didn't talk about this on the show, but I got girls basketball season getting ready to go at Orion. The girls will be they're gonna have a good team this year. And I encourage the viewers. I encourage our viewers to keep sending us the questions about keep sending us questions. And we'll get them on the air, and and hopefully we can answer your questions.
Hopefully in a timely manner too.
Yeah.
Not in we don't need to write a novel
I had to
beforehand.
go into description, you know that.
All right. I'm just kidding with you. Hey, can we get in here for a big closing hug? Oh, all right. Thank you for joining us on Between Taorminas. We'll see you next week when we come back to have fun. Goodbye.
God bless.
There's that hug.